Hello everyone, this is Serene from Advocate Me. Even though the Victorian Legal Services Board has sent me a cancellation of my legal practice, my practice is not just a law firm. My practice is an advocacy service. It's about activism, it's about being warriors, it's about being brave, it's about challenging cruelty, it's challenging failures in government administration. It's about empowering people to find their voice. It's about empowering people to understand the law around them and get the appropriate information as to how they could challenge any kind of incursion on their mind, bodies and souls. So when I promulgated Advocate Me, I did not want to have the word lawyer anywhere in my title. And the reason why is because my practice is not a legal practice. My practice is an advocacy and an amicus service, meaning a friend of the court, meaning that I turn up to represent and give a voice to those that are unrepresented, to those that don't have money, to those who've gone to many lawyers before, and they have never been able to be appropriately represented. So I'm so proud of the title Advocate Me, and just because the Victorian Legal Services Board has cancelled my licence, which is being regulated by a government regulator, it doesn't mean they have taken my voice. In fact, what it means is that they have emboldened me. They have made me more focused on where the source of the corruption is, where the source of the serious maladministration is, and how I need to translate what I'm doing and moving it forward in the best capacity for people, in empowering them to find their voice. I'd like to speak to you about the series of events that have occurred. I allege that the Victorian Legal Services Board, specifically Ms. Fiona McLeay, is corrupt. Her decision is not only unlawful, but her decision is a violation of all the client's rights, is a serious and deep violation of the fact that the trust account and all of their information is being hijacked, or there's an attempt to hijack that information. 9 a.m. yesterday, the Victorian Legal Services Board allegedly made a public announcement on their website to say that my licence has been cancelled. Now, I did not know about that because they only sent me an email at 9:15 a.m. But I was not actually informed or called or contacted as to whether I opened it up or received it, but they had previously put their announcement before they even notified me. I was notified by the Age reporter, David Etzcourt, who contacted me about my license. And I said, I don't understand what's going on. And he said, he had this conversation that morning, and I'm not really sure why he was having a conversation that morning or what triggered him, which clearly gives me some good intel and information. But apparently he was informed before me. So I went home and I saw the emails at around 11:30 a.m. With regards to the notice of cancelling my Australian practicing licence by Fiona McLeay. Fiona, there are serious issues with the letter that you have written to me. In fact, the letter that you've written to me reveals the very serious issues with the Victorian Legal Services Board, with the fact that you have very little understanding of the uniform law. You have very little understanding of the laws that apply around the uniform law, the common law, and the laws that operate in this country, and the many layers that must be satisfied before you can actually make such a cruel and unreasonable decision. When you first notified me, you made a series of demands. The two complaints that were lodged against me were from judges in relation to completely unrelated matters to my national class action, the detention towers class action. I had just filed my detention towers class actions, and within a couple of hours you had sent me that notification. I was extremely concerned and sent you a series of questions with regards to legal privilege, asking about meritorious opinions on the merits of the claim by my barristers, the instructing barristers of the clients. You wanted the national class action details of all the clients, even though not one of them has put a complaint against me. I was extremely concerned that you were forcing me to breach my client's confidentiality, privacy, and of course legal professional privilege. You later on withdrew the request for the opinions of the barristers in terms of the merits. You didn't acknowledge that was a breach of the legal professional privilege, but you did withdraw it. And I thought, well, clearly you are becoming aware. Well, I was under the deception that you might be becoming aware of how unlawful your actions are. You then were in receipt of hundreds of complaints, whistleblower complaints that have been lodged against your conduct by my clients against you. That means that I have 0 complaints from clients and you have hundreds of complaints against you from clients. So I'm not the one who is being faced with the client complaints. It's actually you, Ms. McClay. You are the one that is being faced with the client complaints. However, you patronisingly refer to the complaints, the whistleblower complaints that have been lodged by myself and my clients. And I had put to you that you're to immediately cease and desist from your current course of action. Any further adverse action will be pursued and exposed vigorously. The whistleblower complainants, including myself, and I name all my other clients that you had included in the complaints as a result of the judges without my client's consent or knowledge, and also all the complainants in relation to the national class action. I immediately demand the names of all individuals within the VLSB who've been involved in sanctioning this attack on me, my firm, my clients, and my barristers. The VLSB is attempting to sabotage my national class action, with many of my clients in complete fear as a result of your incursion and possible government retribution against them for their participation. You need to educate yourselves that group members of a class action do not want their names known, given the sensitivity of the claims and the fact that it is only lead applicant representatives that put their name down in the action. I'm devastated, as many will now leave the national class action with refund requests for their fees. I made it clear to you on the 1st of April that my clients are asking for refunds of their fees. You will receive copies of the whistleblower complaints in due course, and of course, you did. However, you patronisingly state that even though my clients have put complaints against you to the Ombudsman and to you directly, that you say that you still are concerned about me fulfilling the inherent requirements of an Australian legal practitioner, and apparently my client complaints underlie the concerns that you've expressed. In fact, they help support the fact that I am, one, breaching the law, and I'd like to share with everyone why you say I'm breaching the law. You say I'm breaching the law because you notionally are treating me as a criminal. You're notionally treating me that the rally speech that I made, where I raised concerns and I called family court judges corrupt and that we'd call them out, and that I did say we'd be shedding blood for peace. That statement, was in reference to the fact that it's the police officers that are pointing their guns at us, not me. And it's obviously that statement is in relation to ensuring that people understand that they can stand up for their rights, and that they shouldn't have guns pointed at them during the COVID pandemic and being threatened, where many of my clients, elderly ladies who've been bullied and threatened by burly police officers, which would now have been addressed. Those issues are being addressed, where they've been threatened, women on disability pension, threatened and bullied for not having the RT-PCR test. They've been pushed to criminal prosecutions. Another elderly lady who had mental health issues in the detention, in the hotel detention, she attempted suicide, and the police officer said she was going to throw her to the wall and punish her Okay, these are the sorts of issues that have fueled my fire in terms of how disgraceful the police conduct that we have seen over this COVID pandemic. And so when I did refer to that, those are the issues that I was referring to. But you allegedly stated that I should have been prosecuted by Victoria Police. Now, the last time I checked, Fiona McClay, you worked in the Victorian Legal Services Board. You're not a police officer. You're not the Commissioner of Police. You are the Commissioner of the Victorian Legal Services Board, and in your complaint you said you're going to treat me as a criminal. So you want to cancel my licence on the notional treatment of me as a criminal, even though I wasn't charged. And what did you want to charge me with? Section 321G of the Crimes Act. Unfortunately, you can't make out a crime like that, even if you tried, because that is actually on an indictable offence. It's incitement of an indictable offence. But clearly you don't understand the law, as you don't understand many other things, unfortunately, as evident by how patronising you are to my clients, how dismissive you are to my clients' experience, how disgusted I am with the fact that you believe my clients have no voice, no agency, that their rights and their human rights can be trampled upon. They don't have the right as to who they instruct. They don't have the right for privacy or confidentiality, and that you believe you have all the right to trample on their legal professional privilege. Anyway, you continue, nothing much really to see, apart from the fact that you believe you could exercise your full powers in putting a manager there immediately who can harass me on the same day you make that decision, having no regard to the fact that I have all these cases booked, that I have very vulnerable clients on the books, people I represent mainly on a pro bono basis, which is something you probably can't understand in the legal community, is how can a lawyer actually be doing a lot of things from a philanthropic perspective? But that's me. That's how I run my firm. And I've done that for years and years and years, is represent people who are right at the end of the line. And you can't understand what motivates people like that, because you come from this private school background, completely oblivious, to struggle. And you come from this entitled space, which is extremely sad for me, because when I see and read this, the thousands and thousands of people that I've dealt with in your privilege is shocking, is absolutely disturbing. Your state-sanctioned violence is beyond comprehension, and we need to find a way forward. We need to find a way to deal with this. Now, the most shocking thing is this. I call up the external intervener, and that's Jacob Uljans, a partner in Hall and Wilcox, and he is also on the board of the Flemington and Kensington Community Legal Centre that is strongly linked to the detention towers. Now, you've appointed this guy to manage the firm without consulting with any of my clients. And what was horrifying for me to realise was that the Commonwealth Bank of Australia, the bank that I have been frequenting since I was 13 years old when we first migrated here into Australia, 30-year relationship, when I first got my, children's account, I was so excited. And from that time, I had this relationship, I guess, with the bank. And for many years, I knew that there was something wrong with the bank in terms of its relationship with, flow of money, how it comes into the bank and how it leaks. But the Commonwealth Bank of Australia ceased my accounts on the instructions of Victorian Legal Services Board without my knowledge, without my awareness. An account that is held on trust in the name of my firm, and people have put that money into their account because they believe in me, because they trust me, and not one person has complained. I put that account because it's called a trust account, But in fact, without me being guilty of any proceeds of crime, of any fraud, of any client complaint, no professional misconduct, no mismanagement of trust monies, my accounts were seized by the Commonwealth Bank of Australia. My donations account that makes my firm go round because we are very, very protective of the trust money. Obviously, we have a whole lot more money in the trust account, and we wanted to ensure that none of us get paid until we commence the proceedings, and we make sure that everyone has trust. We've spent so much time investing in building trust in the community, and that's why people love us. That's why I have got thousands of clients who love me. They know that I love them and I care for them, and I am their advocate and their warrior, and their activist, and and they're revolutionary, and I just love helping people out. And my eye's not in the money, everyone in my firm is not in the money, but the very little we have in the donation accounts just to make us just past the line was also confiscated by the Victorian Legal Services Board and the Commonwealth Bank of Australia. Now, Commonwealth Bank of Australia, my relationship with you is on its end. What you've done is unacceptable in my books. Do you understand? And you really shouldn't have made a nemesis or an enemy out of me. And it makes me really sad because I don't think you're going to correct your behaviour. Pedophiles, drug lords get more rights when they're being challenged for proceeds of crime before any of their accounts get seized. But you did it in less than 4 or 5 hours. Now, I have a hard time believing that you only knew that morning. I also have a hard time believing that Jacob only knew about this action that morning. According to him, he only knew that morning, and yet he knew that the accounts are going to be frozen and seized by the CBA. Someone's lying, and it's not me. So I had a conversation with Jacob. He believed that he had all the rights. 2 burly men, himself and another man, apparently want to come to my home address where I run my firm. 2 men, one from VLSB and one from Holland Wilcox, wants to just come and, just push themselves on me, on my firm, on my clients, on my information, on my efforts, without being a criminal, without being charged with anything. So we had a bit of a tense conversation. He didn't appear to understand what was going on. He told me that if your clients want their money back, they need to give him the details. Yeah, extortion. I'm extorting them for the information, which he knows. They didn't actually give him instructions. But he's saying, we won't give them their money back if they don't give us their information. Jacob, you've got problems, my friend. You and your firm have got major problems with these threats that you've now formalised in writing to me, and I will have to read them to the whole world to see exactly what you want and what Hall Wilcox wants and everybody else that's involved in this complaint against me. How about we do a roll call? That'll be nice. Let's do a roll call of everybody who's involved in my case. Roll call. Australian Federal Police, Commonwealth Director of Public Prosecutions, Family Court of Australia, Magistrates Courts across Australia, Vic Police, Queensland Police, New South Wales Police, oh yeah, Attorney General, now the Commonwealth Bank of Australia, and now Holland Wilcox. Just a nice roll call that just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and more disturbing. I told you that I will not pay you a cent. You want to charge me $600 a pop. Now I haven't charged myself a cent. Who's the scammer here? I don't know. I haven't charged my clients a cent for my services. And now you're sabotaging my national class action. You're putting the fear of God into people. You're dropping this case, like unraveling it, have many clients who are asking for their money back, and you want to charge me $600 a pop. $600 a pop. Wow, Jacob. $600 a pop. And I say to you, my clients, I need to protect them. I need to protect their confidentiality. I need to protect their privacy, the legal professional privilege, and most certainly I need to protect them from state-sanctioned violence and violations of their rights. Who are you, Jacob Uljans, partner from Hole and Wilcox, coming in here thinking you've got all the rights when I haven't been charged with fraud, no proceeds of crime, no criminal action has been taken against me, no professional misconduct, no mismanagement of trust monies, no allegations of investigations into mismanagement of trust monies. I mean, there was an audit where we're toing and froing and organising, the trust accounting and how you do it into class action, and we've been having a very pleasant and ongoing process with a Tom Rushford in the VLSB. Oh, he's not meant to talk to us anymore because he's been told, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Everybody's been told, shut your mouth. This is not a way of dealing with each other. This is not a way. This is not fascism. I mean, we live in a country where we ventilate court cases. This is not about hijacking of my detention towers case. The age rights that the board is saying, oh, we're going to take over litigation. Hold on. Who's instructing you on that? All my clients now have withdrawn instructions. Well, you've cancelled my legal practicing license. My clients I no longer hold their instructions. So on what basis you want me to provide you all their files and names and details? I don't hold their instructions. And the detention towers clients have all gone out to another lawyer, and now you're threatening him, you're threatening me, you're threatening my clients as if they don't have agency in this. You don't see them as entities, but apparently I'm the one who's not fit to be a legal practitioner, whilst you're the ones who are coming with violence, who are coming against the law, and everyone can see you. Everyone can see you. I haven't touched my trust monies. My clients want refunds, and now you're extorting them for their details. You've hijacked and ransacked my accounts. CBA has ceased them, and you continue to threaten me. Even though I told you, let's have a conversation about the fact that I'm in danger at the moment. But yeah, everyone thinks, oh yeah, it doesn't matter. Deserve it. You deserve it, Mr. Farham. You asked for this, didn't you? You then write to me today, again, she brute force. No comprehension as to what you're actually writing. And you tell me that the Victorian Legal Services Board, if my clients provide you the information, that the Victorian Legal Services Board doesn't want the client information anymore, but they cancelled my licence largely in part because I didn't provide them that information. Well, you can work that out. Someone's lying here, and it's not me. Why are you lying, Jacob? Why is the VLSB lying? Fifi, you asked me for the client information. I told you that I'm not going to provide that to you. And now you're saying, oh, we don't want that client information. Just give it to Jacob. They don't have to give it to us. Well, why did you cancel my license then? Someone's lying, and it's not me. It's not me. It's you. And you've documented this so well. You're coming in, you want to know all the client files. You don't care if they've not giving me instructions anymore. You want to know my emails, access to the files, access to all the thoughts, all of the conversations behind these cases that are against the government, and you're being hired by the Victorian Legal Services Board. I mean, think for God's sake. You guys are not the sharpest tools in the shed. I mean, I no longer hold those instructions courtesy to your actions. And now you want to get all my files without the client's permission, without the client's consent or knowledge, without me being charged with fraud. You see, Usually you're able to do such an action in the context of fraud or proceeds of crime, or something has happened with the client. Okay, and so you have those powers in very specific and unique circumstances. Not because you don't like me, boop, not because you don't like what I say. She's got a big mouth on her and she's challenging judges. She's uncovering the child sexual abuse and pedophilia in this country. Get her? Yeah, she did a speech once. Oh, she is blood for peace. Oh, get her. Let's shut her down. Political freedom of expression, not allowed. Not allowed. Only us can do the crimes. Only us can commit the crimes, hide the crimes, become violent, use state-sanctioned violence, but a lawyer speaks out about the truth. Well, we've got to do something. Anyway, so it continues anyway. I mean, I still get, people very desperate for help across the nation. He wants every file, every client contact details, the deadlines, the information, without any of their information. Anyway, we've sent a whole bunch of information. We've disclosed this information to our clients because we need to do the right thing. And, it is up to the clients now, who I no longer have instructions as a legal practitioner. Okay, as an advocate, that's a different thing. As a friend of the court, that's a different thing. As someone who is willing to help people who are unrepresented, that's a different thing. You don't control me, okay? I am not just a legal entity, my friends, okay? I report. I'm a living entity. I'm a living being. I'm subject to, the laws of God. My training comes from divinity, from the divine Lord, okay? From understanding my intuition and my natural drive towards justice. I'm not possessed by an entity or a fiction. I'm a living being guided by divine guidance and interacting from my soul to other souls. I just wish we can all move to a space that is a healthier space. Instead of sabotage and hiding and violating each other's rights, we need to start to think, how do we recreate a better world? This is not creating a better world. CBA, you're not creating a better world. You've lost my trust, my confidence as a child wanting a relationship with the bank, and you've ceased my accounts, $700,000. And now you're extorting my clients for their information to provide that in the absence of any charges of proceeds of crime or fraud or misconduct or any complaints from my clients. And yet I'm being treated as criminal. My clients are being treated as criminals because we're challenging the status quo, because we're saying your masks don't work. The masks come with, they don't protect. 1918, they worked that out. More people died not from the influenza virus, but from bacterial pneumonia. We've worked that out. Since vaccines have been created, we realize they don't work a lot of the times, unless there's a serious disease to be mitigated and it's been trialled and tested for some time. It doesn't work on mucosal viruses. It's ineffective and in fact can be dangerous when you merge it with genetic technologies. It's dangerous when you're using it by companies that have got no ethics and they publicly fail on their ethics. So we need to find a better way of communicating with each other, because this violence is not going to work. This theatre that at the end of the day is hiding the trauma, and these traumas really come back to abuse that happens at home, abuse that's legitimised by bureaucracies, abuse that comes with privilege, and then more people want to engage in abuse, and so you end up hiding abuse, propagating abuse, child sexual abuse, family violence against most vulnerable members of our communities. And please don't get me wrong, women engage in that as much as men. Women engage in as much misogyny as men do. It's horrific, and I see it every day. I mean, Fiona McClay and her crowd are women doing this to a woman. It's shameful. Of course, they send in their men, the burly men, are the ones that are coming meeting me, because the women don't want to confront me. Send them the men. But we need to find a better way. And that's what I want to say, that I'm going to keep working to find a better way. We can't be so violent in this way. We have to find a better way to deal with all our traumas. And I really hope that we can find that way together.